Hey, Adam Savage here in my cave with another tool tip. I'm going to tilt this down just a little bit. There we go. I wanted to talk about lazy Susans. Yes, lazy Susans. I know. Over in my mold making area, I have a stack of drawers, and those drawers actually are old airplane food carts. And the labels on the drawers are all drawn in Sharpie. And on the very top is one labeled Lazy Susans. And visitors to the shop frequently look at that and ask me, are there really Lazy Susans in there? And I like to say, yes, there is. And I open it up and show them. And sure enough, there are Lazy Susans. Look, the idea of having a wide bearing surface that you can attach into something is super common in the maker world. And there are a lot of different options out there. But a bunch of years ago, when I was making my own R2-D2, I came across one that I still love more than pretty much any other. These Lazy Susans are like kind of the standard fare you could get at a hardware store, and they're fine. My issue with them as they're basically, stamped metal with ball bearings in the middle. Same thing over here. And because they're stamped sheet metal, they don't have a lot of tensile strength. So if you put this on something, you could certainly spin a tray, but you don't want anything tall, right? You want all of the weight to be at the level of the Lazy Susan. These don't allow you to build upwards. However, I found a large bearing that is reasonably priced and does give you that kind of functionality. And it is made by the lovely people at Rockler. Here is a Rockler bearing. Now, just like one of these bearings, it has holes and the ability, so this bearing has holes on one side and then holes on the other to allow you access to holes on the other. So you can basically attach stuff to both sides as long as you've plotted it out correctly. The Rockler bearing is no different. It has countersunk holes here and countersunk holes there, plus these little spacers. If you want to use them, you don't have to. And honestly, from a material engineering standpoint, these are really impressively rigid. If I was going to have to build a minigun, for instance, this is the kind of bearing I would go use right away. A pair of these stacked 5 inches apart, I'd be able to support a lot of weight out at the other end. So Rockler bearings have become a kind of a staple in my shop. They make them as small. I think I have one that's 4 inches. I don't know if that's the smallest one they make. This is far from the biggest because a few years ago, now it's almost 20 years ago, when I was making my R2-D2, I came across this Rockler bearing. Yeah, dude, this is like a 20-inch bearing. How big is it? Hold on a second. Where's my tape measure? 17.5 inches. That's a 17.5-inch bearing. That's fantastic. They make an even bigger one, and it's in the neck of my R2-D2. I also used one as the base of my captain's chair, of my Star Trek captain's chair. I love these bearings. And this bearing right now is very, very reasonably priced. So I will tell you that I actually keep a stock of several sizes of Rockler bearings here in the cave just in case I need them, because frankly, this isn't going to cut it for me. I mean, sure, if I'm doing eating family style, I'll use this bearing, but if I have to do any kind of complex engineering, it's going to be one of these Rocklers. I am really glad that they are still making them, that they are still reasonably priced. Yeah, for your next maker project where you need something to swivel, let me tell you, the swivel on my captain's chair, it does not waver or wobble at all. It feels very secure as you move back and forth on that. And of course, we've already established that the captain's chair makes you sit like a captain. So I like to think that the Rockler bearing inside that captain's chair is like 15% of the experience of feeling captainly and like you're on a fine piece of equipment. That is a quick and dirty tool tip. Thank you guys for joining me. I will see you next time.